Hello everybody, welcome to Meteorology. In this video we'll be talking about Tropical Storm Cristobal and its Gulf impacts that it will have on the United States of America, including Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Before the video starts, if you like weather content like this, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to never miss a weather update or upload. Actually, today marks the first day of daily uploads. I know today's June 4th, not the 5th, which is tomorrow. I decided I had some free time, so I decided to start one day earlier, especially since this tropical storm is developing and is going to hit the United States. I decided I should make a video on it. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Here's our marine surface lot. Basically, it just shows where the center of the low pressure system is currently. As you can see there, it says L marks storm location as of now. And it's kind of over the border of Central America and Mexico there. But it's planning to curve northward very, very soon and sort of go along the coast that you can see right here of Mexico. It's planning to go along that coast, and then shoot up northward to the United States. Then we move through. Now we're looking at the cone, the official cone from the national NOAA. The cone. Just note that the cone contains the probable path of the storm center, but does not show the actual size of the storm, and hazardous conditions can still occur outside of the cone, such as damaging wind gusts. Let's look at by time now. You can see it's now starting its little hook curve towards the north. By time 1 p.m. is when we're sort of on the coast and starting to come off. And then at 1 a.m., the middle of the storm is completely offshore, and by 1 p.m. Saturday and 1 a.m. Sunday, about the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and then 1 p.m. Sunday it starts to approach land, and 1 p.m. Monday it has eventually made landfall into mid-Louisiana. Now we're looking at some model track guidances. Here is our global. Most of them are showing, like the cone said, it's going to shoot up north, curve a little bit, and then actually go northeast into the United States, but as a tropical depression and as just a simple storm system. Now here is the GFS American model track. You can see where it is now. Is currently at 999,999 millibars in terms of pressure, and then instead of heading directly towards Louisiana, it's going to start heading towards the panhandle of Florida, but then curve, then landfall in Louisiana, curve, go into Arkansas, and then go all the way out and eventually diminish around Michigan and Canada. Again, it's not going to stay as a tropical storm, but it'll probably be a tropical depression and a regular storm system for some areas. Here is our CMC model track guidance. This is actually the Canadian model. That's what CMC is. Almost similar to the GFS, except this one showing it like the NOAA cone, where it just goes directly towards Louisiana, then curving out, and then it keeps going north instead of heading northeast like the American model suggested. Here's our tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. Actually not high where the actual center of the storm is, 5 to 0%. So that is very, very low. So technically right now it's not really a tropical depression status, but by the time it finishes its turn, it'll turn into tropical depression status and then eventually tropical storm, and those chances will increase. Instead of 30 to 50 and 40%, it'll probably increase up to 90 or maybe even 100% as it travels through the Gulf of Mexico towards Louisiana. Here's our hurricane force wind speed probabilities, and actually none 5 to 0%. No, earlier, before we really had a lot of information about this storm, people were saying there was like a 5 to 30% chance of hurricane storm force winds, but now it's looking like that won't be possible, even a single bit, maybe 1 or 2%, but that is very low. Here is our model intensity guidance, what all the models think that the intensity could be. We do have 2 models slightly going into Cat 1, but that's probably going to be very rare. The first model is the SHIP, SHIP model. It does have it dipping a little bit into the Category 1 hurricane. If that will happen, that is looking to be around the Gulf inside the Gulf of Mexico, but by the time it landfalls, probably not. But all the models are really indicating just maybe wind speeds at most 50 miles per hour, and in the Gulf, and at least 35 in the Gulf. So that is definitely tropical storm status. Then once it hits land, it'll go into that white area, which is tropical depression and a regular storm system. We also have another model going right on the edge of Cat 1 and tropical storm force winds, and if we follow that track there, that looks like that's our COTI model, COTI. But like I said, it's probably going to be very rare for this to happen, especially since in this previous slide there is no chance for hurricane force wind speed probabilities. Now we're going to take a look at our GFS and CMC models, which is the American and the Canadian model for this storm. We're going to be looking at wind speed, 850 millibar wind speed, and average precipitation rate, and then total accumulated precipitation. So first, this is around now, maybe a couple hours ahead. You can see actually no low there. There is one hovering over central Mexico, but that's not developing anything. No low there. That's because it's not really a tropical depression status, and it's just a storm system currently. But then as we move through, the low obviously comes back. This is around the mid-Gulf. We do have some slight shades of purple there for this storm, which is like about 24 to 42 knot winds, which is tropical storm status. And then this isn't a tropical storm. This is actually the rain, but tropical storms do have much rain, so that is tropical storm status. Then we move through. This is when heavy rain bands start to hit the panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and just a little bit of the tip of Louisiana as it moves through. The center hasn't really made landfall, but it's very close to doing that. But the heavy rain bands have already made landfall. And this is by the time it's around mid-Louisiana. We do still have some heavy rain bands there, a bit for Louisiana, and then that big chunk there for Texas. And this is when it's probably going to be a tropical depression or just a general storm system eventually. Here's our wind speed probabilities. Very low actually right now. But then obviously as we move into the Gulf, all those reds, very high wind speeds. And then here is right before it makes landfall, just like before. Still very high wind speeds. Even some bands to the northwest that are hitting Louisiana and Mississippi and a bit of Alabama, getting pretty strong there. And then this is when it's inland, and it's not looking to be that bad at that point. Here's our total accumulated precipitation for the GFS. Up to about 12 or 14, maybe even 16 inches of rain from this tropical storm as it moves through the Gulf. Not too high amounts of rain for Louisiana. Maybe Florida getting some of the outer bands, because you can see they do have some reds there for Florida. Ignore that little blotch there for Alabama and Mississippi. That's just from a regular storm system that had passed through for them that brought them a lot of rain. But then in those pinks and purples, you can obviously see it's not that much, but it's still going to be some heavy downpours. Now we're going to take a look at our Canadian model, which is the CMC model for the last part of this video. Here is by time now, not really that heavy of rain, but then as it moves into the Atlantic, we do have a band that's even reaching part of Florida there around the Tampa Bay area. And as it moves north towards Louisiana, we do have some very heavy bands hitting Georgia and Florida and a bit there for Alabama. And then as it goes into land, still some heavy rain here and there for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama besides that, but not that heavy amount of rain. Wind speed not probabilities, but the wind millibars. Here, by time now, like the GFS, it's not showing much, maybe some here and there greens for the outer bands. But then as it goes into the mid-Gulf, we do have that odd wind there for even some going onshore into Mexico. And then those bands kind of expanded, actually hitting landfall there for Florida. And then some bands there for Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, and Mississippi also becoming decently strong. And then finally there for Louisiana, once it's inland, not too bad, but there are still some greens here and there. Finally, here's our total accumulated precipitation for CMC models. And actually, we do have a lot of rain there going onshore, maybe even the most amount of rain going onshore there for the Panhandle of Florida and southern Georgia. Some of those are reaching 12 to 16, maybe even 20 or even 24 inches of rain there. That's quite a lot, so those areas could have some very high flood risk, especially Florida, with their lakes and all that. With that, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and also hit it if you like weather content like this, and hit the bell to never miss a weather update or upload. I'll keep you guys posted on this tropical storm. I'll have another video coming out for I might even have 2 videos coming out tomorrow about this storm, and then even about some severe weather that is possible for the northern plains very soon. With that, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next update or forecast. Bye-bye.